The man was more than a man. He was an idea, a symbol. For nearly 50 years, Haile Selassie was Ethiopia. His name echoed from the highlands to the world's capitals, chanted in Kingston, Jamaica, and whispered in Geneva. He was the conquering Lion of Judah, the elect of God, the King of Kings. His presence shaped not just his nation, but the very idea of Africa in the 20th century. His story is a tapestry of divine right, reform, acclaim, and suffering. He stood at history's crossroads, one foot in ancient tradition, the other in the modern world. He brought schools, hospitals, and Ethiopia's first constitution. Yet the crown's weight was immense, and his vision often clashed with reality. He was the dignified figure before the League of Nations, the host of African leaders, the father of a continent's dreams. In his palace, every gesture was ritual, every day a dance of power. He was the sun, others moved in his orbit, but shadows followed. His reign was also tragedy, famine hidden from the world, revolution sweeping away 1,000 years of monarchy. His end was quiet, mysterious and brutal, a stark contrast to his grandeur. Today we see not just an emperor, but a complex human whose legacy is debated, celebrated and condemned. He remains a powerful symbol, reflecting the hopes and failures of a continent's journey. The shadow of Haile Selassie endures. Born Tafari Makonnen in 1892, he entered a world of power and expectation. His father, Ras Makonnen, was a general and governor, close to Emperor Menelik II. Tafari's lineage traced to King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. His education blended ancient tradition and modern ideas. Priests taught him ge'ez and law, French missionaries taught him diplomacy. This duality shaped him, respect for tradition, but eyes open to change. Tragedy struck early. His father died when Tafari was a teen, thrusting him into the dangerous world of court politics. Menelik II saw promise in him and summoned him to Addis Ababa. The imperial court was a nest of intrigue, but Tafari learned to observe, wait and act. At 20, he became governor of Harar, proving himself as a disciplined, reform-minded administrator. He built roads, improved taxes, and worked tirelessly unlike other nobles. He built a reputation for intelligence and ambition. Supporters gathered around him. Tafari was not content with privilege. He was laying the groundwork for something greater. The path was uncertain, but his destination was clear. He was a young man with a vision for Ethiopia's future. Every move was calculated, every alliance purposeful. He was patient but relentless. The seeds of his ascent were sown in these early years. Tafari Makonnen was destined for the throne. Emperor Menelik II's death in 1913 plunged Ethiopia into uncertainty. The heir, Lijiasu, alienated the Orthodox Church and nobility, creating a power vacuum. Tafari Makonnen maneuvered skillfully, aligning with conservative Shewan nobles and presenting himself as guardian of tradition. In 1916, Iyasu was deposed. Menelik's daughter Zuditu became empress, but real power went to Tafari, now Prince Regent. At 24, he was Ethiopia's effective ruler. His regency was a battle between modernization and conservative resistance. He pushed for schools, army reform, and the end of feudal practices. Each step met with opposition. Tafari's greatest victory, securing Ethiopia's admission to the League of Nations in 1923, placing the country on the world stage. This diplomatic triumph strengthened his position at home and abroad. He was no longer just a regent, he was a statesman. When Empress Zuditu died in 1930, Tafari's path was clear. He was crowned Emperor Haile Selassie I, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. The Solomonic dynasty's legacy continued through him. His ascent was the result of patience, strategy and vision. He had navigated the treacherous waters of court politics and emerged supreme. The modern era of Ethiopia had begun. Haile Selassie was now the face of a changing nation. The world would soon know his name. The Lion of Judah had claimed his throne. As Emperor Haile Selassie launched an era of transformation. He believed Ethiopia must modernize or perish. His first act, Ethiopia's first written constitution in 1931, a symbolic leap toward modern governance. He established a parliament, a modern legal system and centralized power. Universities, banks, and infrastructure projects followed. Roads connected provinces. Ethiopian airlines took flight. He sent students abroad, building a new technocratic elite, but progress was slow. Feudal traditions and regional interests resisted change. The clergy eyed his reforms with suspicion. Most Ethiopians remained untouched by the changes in Addis Ababa. The emperor's vision was clear, but the struggle to implement it was constant. He raced to pull Ethiopia into the 20th century. The challenge was immense, but so was his ambition. And the greatest test came in 1935. Mussolini's Italy invaded Ethiopia. The modern Italian army overwhelmed Ethiopian forces. Haile Selassie went to Geneva, appealing to the League of Nations. His speech warned, "It is us today, it will be you tomorrow." The world listened, but did little. Sanctions were weak, and appeasement prevailed. Betrayed by the international community, the emperor went into exile in England. For 5 years, he became a global symbol of resistance to fascism. His dignified suffering inspired people worldwide, especially in the African diaspora. The Rastafari movement saw him as a living god, a black messiah in exile. Far from diminishing him, exile elevated his myth. He was the face of anti-colonial struggle. The Lion of Judah's roar echoed far beyond Ethiopia. His time in exile transformed him into a legend. World War II changed everything. With British help, Haile Selassie returned to Ethiopia in 1941, reclaiming his throne. The occupation's devastation allowed him to centralize power and accelerate modernization. He reformed the tax system, built a national army, and expanded the bureaucracy. On the world stage, he became Africa's elder statesman. He championed Pan-Africanism, hosting the 1963 summit that founded the Organization of African Unity in Addis Ababa. The OAU made Ethiopia the heart of African diplomacy. For a decade, he mediated disputes and inspired a continent. The Lion of Judah was never more revered. His vision of African unity left a lasting mark. Haile Selassie became the father figure of modern Africa. While the emperor shone abroad, unrest grew at home. Educated Ethiopians returned with new ideas, demanding democracy and justice. Student protests and a failed 1960 coup revealed cracks in the regime. The Eritrean War and conflict with Somalia drained resources and morale. The image of stability crumbled. Then famine struck Wallow in the early 1970s. Hundreds of thousands died. The government tried to hide the disaster, but the truth emerged. The emperor, isolated and out of touch, seemed powerless. His image as a benevolent father was shattered. The seeds of revolution were sown in hunger and disillusionment. The famine ignited a revolution. Protests erupted, strikes paralyzed Addis Ababa. The Derg, a committee of junior officers, began dismantling the imperial government. They arrested officials, seized media, and eroded the emperor's authority. Haile Selassie, once feared, became a prisoner in his own palace. The monarchy's aura vanished, replaced by contempt and anger. On September 12, 1974, the Derg deposed him, ending 3,000 years of monarchy. He was driven away in a Volkswagen Beetle, humiliated and powerless. A year later, the Derg announced his death, widely believed to be murder. The Lion of Judah's reign ended in silence and obscurity. The Solomonic dynasty was gone. Ethiopia entered a new turbulent era. The revolution had devoured its king. Haile Selassie's grand life ended in tragedy. Haile Selassie's legacy is a tapestry of contradictions. A modernizer and absolute monarch, a symbol of African pride and a ruler during famine. Revered abroad, overthrown at home, his memory divides Ethiopians. Some see him as the father of modern Ethiopia. Others remember repression and inequality. For the African diaspora, he remains a symbol of black sovereignty and dignity. For Rastafari, he is divine, Jah Rastafari, whose spirit endures. His story warns of the dangers of absolute power and isolation, yet it also inspires resilience, vision, and the pursuit of greatness. Haile Selassie was a king, a reformer, a symbol, a victim. His shadow still stretches over Ethiopia and the world, a legacy forever.